What is up, YouTube? Hyper D Kaiser here. I'm here with a Vanguard deck profile for you guys. I hope you enjoy watching this. We're gonna start because it is my Shadow Paladin deck. This just actually got released. It's at 4. I've been waiting for this deck for a long time. Shadow Paladins is definitely one of my favorite decks, if not my favorite deck. I've loved it ever since it showed up on the show. So let's get started with it. This is our starter, Full Bow. It's the only it's the one of 2 starters we have. The other one is a vanilla. This is the starter for the Ride Chain, the Phantom Blaster line. So we're going to, I guess, get into the trigger lineup, which is pretty basic. We have the 4 crits, 4 stand, 4 draw, and 4 heal. It is a completely balanced trigger lineup just because that's all we have right now. In set 5, we're going to get another critical trigger, so we'll probably replace the stand triggers with those. So far in testing, the stand triggers have been really working well, surprisingly. So we'll get into that when it actually comes up. So grade 1s after the starter. 4 Blaster Javelin. It is the main grade 1 for our Ride Chain. When you ride this over Full Bow, Full Bow's effect activates. You can search straight up for the grade 2 Blaster Dark. I love that this is the 2nd generation of Ride Chains. Ride Chain is in like the Tsukiyomi line, which is the grade 1, or the generation 1 of the Ride Chains. This would be the grade generation 2 of the Ride Chain. Generation 3 would be like Special Duke Dragon. I find that the Generation 2 is the best just because you just straight up search for the cards. Javelin's other effect, when Full Bow's in the soul, he gains 2,000 when he's on the Vanguard, and when you call him to a rear guard, you can discard a grade 3 to search for Phantom Blaster Dragon itself. So it's just straight up searching for the grade 2 and 3, which I really like about these type of chains. We also have 1, 2, 3, 4 perfect guards. Kind of needed in this day and age now for some reason instead of 3, but some people still prefer 3, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just pretty much player preference, but you need at least 3 is usually a good idea. So moving on, we have 3 Black Sage Karen or Charon or whatever you want to call it. It's your AK vanilla. You kind of usually need it. The grade 1s in this clan aren't that great right now. So you kind of want to run the 8Ks. We also have 2 Witch of Nostrum Arianaut. It is your Gojo, your tap to discard and draw 1. So pretty decent. Turn 1 in case you don't. Turn 1 you'd rather have this than like any. If you don't get Javelin, then this is your second best bet pretty much. And we also run 2 Guru Bao. I actually really like Guru Bao just because, sure, it's only a 7k, but when it attacks, if it's on the rear guard, it becomes a 9k. So in case you don't get any more attackers, it's still at least a 9k on your turn when you're attacking with it. It's on the front. So that's why it's a nice backup plan in case you don't have any other attackers. So that's it for the grade 1s. Let's not mix these up yet. 7, 11. That's 15 grade 1s. And that was 17 grade 0 still, so that makes the deck 33 so far. Moving on to the grade 2s, we have 5 10k vanillas. 3 Rugoth, just because I like his art a little bit better than Dordona's. You run stands, and these guys are probably going to be your standalone attackers in case you don't have any boosters, because 10k is usually a very solid number. But because of the stands, we have to run a decent amount of them just for the stand triggers to get their best use. We're running 2 Blaster Dark, which is the grade 2 of the Ride Chain. When Blaster Javelin's in the soul, it gets a plus 1,000, and you ride him on the Vanguard over ride him on the Vanguard period. You can counter press 2 to retire any unit on your opponent's field except for the Vanguard, obviously. The downside of this is if you call it to a rear guard, it's pretty much a 9k vanilla, which is why you only run 1 and 2. If you run 1, people say you're not going to damage check it, but you're probably not going to see it that often. So I'd rather run 2 just to give me a better chance of drawing it if I don't get Javelin right away, or it gives me a chance to not actually get it damage checked, because it has happened to me before. When I was trying out one and it got damage checked, and I'm like, oh well, I'm screwed. I can't get the grade 3 up to its full potential. So that's that. We also run 2 Cursed Lancer, which is the damage on Flipper. It is actually in this deck pretty kind of necessary, just because you do use a lot of counterblast. Normally you don't use Blaster Dark's counterblast at all, but you'll see at the grade 3 lineup you kind of need it. So, and lastly for the grade 2s, 2 Skull Witch Nemain. She is only a 3,000 power, but her effect is amazing. So pretty much what you want to do is, I'll actually show you once I get to the grade 3 lineup, because that'll be it. That's 11 grade 2s. Or wait, no. Yeah, something like that. Now we get on the grade 3s. We play 3 Orange and Mage Eldona. This is the Shadow Paladin's Limit Breaker, and I love this card. This is probably one of my favorite cards, if not next to Phantom Blaster Dragon. His Limit Break is Limit Break 4, obviously. You choose 2 of your rear guards and retire them. Then you draw 2 cards, and then this guard gains. This is when it attacks. You draw 2 cards, and it gains 3,000. So pretty much what you do is, let's say you have him on your Vanguard, and let's say you have Nemain and a Guru Bow behind it, right? So you obviously use Nemain's effect, put a Guru Bow behind it, because these two are kind of, you don't need them that much. So what you do, attack with them first. Attack with him, Limit Break, retire these 2 because she's kind of a liability. So you can either, intercept with her or just use Eldona's effect. I love using her with Eldona's effect. Retire, draw 2, he becomes 16 by himself, and you replace the 2 rear guards you just retired, as well as you plus off a Nemain as it is anyway. So I absolutely love his Limit Break. It's really good. Its other effect is when it's on the Vanguard and attacks, it gains 3,000 power. So if you use his in conjunction with his Limit Break, he becomes 16,000 by himself. So he can hit 11Ks very, very easily. Alright, the other grade 3s, we have Phantom Blaster Dragon. 2 of them. His effect is kind of costly, but provided you use it at the correct time, it will probably win you the game. Just because it's immense power. It's a Counterblast 2, retire 3 rear guards, and he gains plus 10,000 plus 1 critical. When Blaster Dark's in the soul, he gains 1,000 power permanently. So it becomes an 11k, which is very nice and all. What I like to do is, if I have him in hand and I haven't seen the other one, I'll normally call a Javelin, discard this to thin out the deck to get the second one. That way I won't have to drive check in the grade 3s, which is kind of annoying, but it happens. And to round out the grade 3s, finally, we have our 2 Bob Carr. He works well in conjunction with Eldona's, just because he's pretty much the only good rearguard grade 3 right now. And he gives you the added extra card you can use for him. So you never know. Why is it I miscounted? Whatever, who cares? I think I might have an extra card in here or something. I'll have to look at it again. I don't remember. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this deck profile. Like I said, Shadow Paladins is my probably go-to deck right now. I like the Pelennor build of Gold Paladins right now. Garmor and Pelennor. I don't really like Spectre Duke, and I don't really like Ezel. But Pelennor I actually really like a lot right now. So, but yeah, Shadow Paladins is probably my favorite deck right now. So I will see you guys later. Peace out.